Someone sold air. Not a ticket, not a poster, not merch. Air. A Ziploc bag, sealed shut, label on the front, Air from Kanye Show. They opened a Ziploc bag, held it up, moved it through the air, then sealed it shut again. People asked insane money for it, and people actually paid. Because they wanted to breathe the same air as Kanye West. Now, you can call that crazy, or you can ask a different question. What kind of performer makes people want to bottle the atmosphere they walked through? That's what this video is about. Because this wasn't just a concert, this was something else entirely. It started as one show, one night, one stadium. Then demand hit, and one night became two. Two sold-out nights, 70,000 people per night, 140,000 people total at one of the largest stadiums in the world. No opening act, no warm-up, no support artist standing between you and him. Just Kanye West and a stage that looked like nothing you have ever seen at a concert. When the lights went down, people weren't looking at a platform. They were looking at a planet. A massive dome lit from beneath, rotating slowly, projecting the entire Earth spinning underneath it, like the world itself was the stage. And standing at the very top of it was Ye. Literally on top of the world, not as a metaphor, as a stage design. And in that moment, you stopped looking at a man and started looking at an image. Now here's what most people missed. That image didn't just appear. It was built deliberately from a reference so specific, so intentional that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. In 1988, a Japanese animated film called Akira was released. Not the kind made for children, the kind made to disturb you. It depicted a nuclear explosion so massive, so all-consuming, that it didn't just destroy Tokyo. It reshaped reality around it. A dome of pure, unstoppable force expanding outward beyond anything that could contain it. That image became one of the most referenced visuals in modern art and culture. And Kanye West didn't just reference it. He built his entire music video for Stronger around it, frame by frame, pulled directly from Akira's most iconic scene. Now look at that stage again. That dome, that rotating earth beneath his feet, that isolation at the very top. That is not a design choice. That is a statement. That is Kanye West looking at an explosion that destroyed an entire city and saying, I am the force, and I'm still expanding. Then you notice what he's wearing. Not fashion, not streetwear, not hype. An astronaut suit, white, custom. The kind of outfit that says, I am not here, I am visiting. Think about what that does psychologically to 70,000 people standing in front of you. You're looking at someone dressed like they descended from somewhere else entirely. Elevated, detached, unreachable. And the moment someone stops feeling accessible, they stop being a person and start becoming a symbol. Then something strange happens. He walks out onto that dome, stands at the top, and waits. No music, no countdown, no pyrotechnics to cover the gap. Just silence. Stretching, longer than it should, long enough that people start looking at each other. And that is the move. Most artists are terrified of silence. They fill every second, they talk to the crowd, they pump the energy, they cannot afford to lose momentum for even a moment. He doesn't close the gap. He lives in it. He makes 70,000 people wait until every single person in that stadium is locked on him, not because they want to, because they physically cannot look away. Silence, used correctly, isn't absence, it's pressure. And pressure held long enough, becomes control. Then, mid-show, he stopped and told his lighting team, "Make the Earth spin slower." Not a request, a command directed at the planet itself. And that moment spread everywhere because it captured something people couldn't explain. A man on top of a rotating globe telling it to slow down for him. That's not a concert moment. That's a mythology moment. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because fans listen to music, but around Kanye West, people start to believe. They document everything. They hold on to fragments because being near something this big feels like something you'll tell people about for the rest of your life. And that energy doesn't stay in the stadium. Someone records a moment, posts it, someone reacts, that gets clipped, someone makes a video, and it reaches millions of people who weren't even there. They argue, that argument trends, which pulls more people back. The show happened twice, but it plays on millions of screens every single day. He isn't just performing for the people in the stadium, he's performing for the algorithm. And he has been for 20 years. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Watch the Throne, The Life of Pablo, Donda. Albums that cost tens of millions to produce, some of the most expensive artistic projects in music history. These weren't albums, they were worlds, each one a new version of himself, and you either stepped into it or got left behind. His audience spans continents, generations, cultures, hundreds of millions of people watching. A postponed show thousands of miles away made international headlines, not because of the delay, but because of how many people cared. Because that's what happens when you stop being a musician and start being a moment. But here's the part that makes all of this actually work. Behind the dome and the astronaut suit and the commands, there is still a person. Someone who started from nothing, who built everything, who lost it all publicly, painfully in front of the entire world, and then came back anyway. Who filled 2 nights of a 70,000-seat stadium after years of people writing the obituary for his career. And mid-show, he stopped and said to the crowd, "I want to thank y'all for sticking by me through the hard times, through the low times." 70,000 people lost their minds because people don't connect to perfection. They connect to survival. They connect to someone who fell completely and publicly and still came back to stand on top of the world. So the real question isn't, what has Kanye West become? The real question is, why does it still feel like this? After everything, after every controversy, after every moment where the story seemed finished, why do 140,000 people show up across 2 nights in one city and call it the greatest thing they have ever witnessed? Because somewhere along the way, he stopped being an artist and became a symbol. Symbols don't explain themselves. They don't justify. They don't apologize. They just exist and pull everything towards them. And you either feel that pull or you don't. If you felt it, even for a second, then something already changed. Not on that stage, inside you.